My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full UFC fight cards. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. And our videos are brought to you by BETU Play to Earn. BETU Play to Earn is the world's first play-to-earn sports and esports betting game. Check it out now at betuearn.com. That's bet, the letter U, earn.com. And ODDSJAM. ODDSJAM.com has the fastest real-time data from all the sports books, and it helps you spot discrepancies and make sure that you hit your spots and get the best odds available for every single fight and every single sporting event. Check them out now at ODDSJAM.com. And next up at UFC Columbus, we have Magny taking on Max Griffin. Magny, 25-8 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off a dominant win over Jeff Neal. Max Griffin is 18-8 overall. He's 3-2 in his last 5, riding a nice 3-fight win streak. Magny's an incredibly well-rounded guy and often overlooked. He's very tough and very experienced. He's hard to put into a bucket because he's skilled everywhere. But if I had to choose like sort of what style fighter he is, I would say he's a striker, a busy come-forward striker, but he also has very solid grappling games, and he averages almost 3 takedowns per fight. But I think at the root of who he is as a fighter, he is a striker. We've been talking about Max Griffin a lot these past few months, but that's literally because he took off Ramiz Brahimaj's ear in that fight, and we've broken down Ramiz a few times since we've broken down Max. He's very strong, and he carries that power into his striking. People think he's a striker because of his incredible knockouts, but he's a very solid grappler who also took down Alex Morono 4 times and Elim Imadev 6 times. This should be a really fun fight, and I think it's a big test for both of them. Magny is the more well-rounded fighter, but Max Griffin is definitely the more dangerous fighter. The odds makers have this as Neal more than a 2-1 favorite, which I understand because he's the better all-around fighter, but I think these odds are wide. Max has a 70% takedown defense coupled with his power in his hands. Max can be a real problem. I do like Neal to win this fight, but in my opinion, he should be like a -120 favorite. I think -230 is a bit too wide and a bit too rich for my blood. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Weirdly, 100% agree, because I watched both these guys. Obviously, we're familiar with both these guys before, but, watch fresh tape, refresh yourselves. And I thought, oh, my God, Magny is going to be the lock of the week, because I thought for sure that Max Griffin, honestly, was going to be the favorite in this fight. I thought it was going to be close. I thought it was going to be a kind of a pick-em, but I could see Magny in this fight as like a -110 or like a +100, +110, something like that. I think he's a more well-rounded guy, as you mentioned, but I was actually surprised because Magny has a tendency sometimes to not really get going in fights. And if you're fighting a guy like Max Griffin and he jumps on you early, you could find yourself in some trouble early. And I think that's what we're going to see here. We're going to see Max Griffin all over Magny early, kind of with like that Jeff Neal fight with Magny, kind of all over him. Magny will kind of invite you to the fence. He loves that clinch game. That's where he thrives. He'll actually shoot for takedowns out of the clinch. He loves being against the fence. And against like Max Griffin, you could find yourself in some real issues just trying to head bob and work against a cage like that. So, I could see this going to in the first round, Max winning that almost definitively. But as the fight goes on, Neal finds his range. He picks up the pace. That's when he starts to use his wrestling late second into the third round. I think this is a close fight. I agree. I think this is more of a kind of a pick 'em fight. My guy's Magny. I love Magny. I'm going with Magny because I think he is a little bit better everywhere. But this could be an interesting decision fight where Magny is kind of winning the second half of that second round, wins the third, but definitely won the first. And we'll see what kind of judges they give us in Columbus because it's a new city. We don't know who's going to judge these fights. So we'll see what kind of judges they have. And I think Magny's going to be able to pull it out.
Yeah, it sounds like we're pretty aligned here. I don't like him for $8,800 though. This is too close of a fight for me to spend almost $9,000 on the guy. What do you think?
Yeah, if he brings the pressure early, I think he's going to be worth it because he's going to be all over Max Griffin. In that Max Griffin-Carlos Condit fight, you could tell when Carlos Condit started picking the pace, Max really didn't like Carlos staying in his face, and Magny will stay in your face. So if you're Magny, he comes out aggressive, it definitely could be worth $8,800, but he starts so slow sometimes. I'll probably stay away from it.
Sure, and then Monkey Knife fight, I think it's more and more. We think it's a dog fight. I think they go at it. I do think it's more and more. I think it's a pretty busy fight. And I think a lot of it takes place on the feet. Magny will probably get a takedown or two, but that accounts for his extra 20 strikes here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a more and more.
Well, check that out at WeWantPicks.com/MKF. And also, you want 50 free bucks? Go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our 5 betting partners. Make a deposit. Let us know after you do, and I will send you 50 bucks as a thank you.